Ready? Let's do it.
Thank you very much. Bow tie coffee there, here in Ellerslie. We bought our plywood from the same place. I'm making a laundry. He made a coffee slide. You know, one thing I wanted to do was go over some of the things that I wish I knew before I started this cabinetry. I've learned quite a lot. I don't just mean like the mistakes I've made, I already kind of made a video about that. More the little things that help me do a better job and things that I'll take with me when I try this again. Now, one thing I've learned the hard way is the laminate. This plywood has a laminate veneer on the surface of it, both sides. And what that means is when you go to glue it with wood glue, it doesn't really glue. So you have to kind of come up with a way to get timber to timber touching. Now next time I do this, I'll probably buy some laminate glue. There's laminate specific glue, but I don't have that glue yet. So here's my solution. This is a cheap biscuit jointer that I bought years ago when I made this other TV cabinet before the channel, like we're going back ages. And you literally just glue biscuits into each surface and then the glue that's around the biscuit does the holding. I'm going to try and make it work for this face bit here that goes on this open shelf. It's little things like this though, little tips like this that I've learned the hard way and learned from the comments section. So thank you very much. No, I don't know why I took that face off, I haven't even marked it. Alright, let's mark it up. Let's go a bit higher. I think it's gonna work. Okay, so this is because I can't put screws in. Can't put nails in. Any fixings I put in from this side you're gonna see, right? Silicon's grabbing the bottom. Now originally that was going to be a drawer down there, but when I put the drawer rails on that top shelf thing, it didn't really feel strong enough to load up, and that's a big space down there, so that would have been a big heavy drawer. So rather than a drawer, we scrapped it and turned it into this open shelf. Now a tool that I wish I knew about sooner that has been really good for this job is this here. Someone mentioned it in one of my previous videos. What it is a centering drill bit. See that? You pull the sleeve back and then a little bit of a drill bit comes out, and the sleeve keeps that drill bit in the center of your screw hole. Honestly, it doesn't seem like much. I was hanging a door on an old episode and somebody in the comments mentioned this and said, Scott, you need to get one, and I'm glad I got one. It's made these kitchen hinges so much easier. Don't hit your head, Scott. So that gives me a nice center point, exactly where it needs to be. Because if you don't screw it in the center of the hole, it can easily pull the hinge out of place. Now it's pretty slow going using a track saw to build cabinetry like this, but at the same time it's an awesome tool to use for this. You get nice clean factory edges even with this laminate sheeting. Now, one thing that sped up the process a little bit is this. People have been asking me about this. This is basically a rail square, a guide rail square. These little brass things here slide into the track, and then this thing clamps on, tighten that up, and there you go, they're attached. And the great thing about that is now square, so all I have to do is go like this, line it up with one mark, and that's ready to cut. It's essentially just cutting on repeat. I'm cutting so many of the same size and all the cuts are square, and that makes it a lot easier. Got him. Forgot to put silicone on the bottom. Now, if you're gonna try and do cabinets like I have done with a track saw, I would highly recommend these clamps, and I've talked about these in a previous video. They're handy little clamps that go into the track and prevent the track from slipping. The rubber strips on the track will do that, and I don't always use them, even when I'm doing this. But if I know that this is my only chance at a cut, like when I was doing the bench top, for example, or if it's quite a fine cut, you know, if it's only like 2 or 3 mil that I'm shaving off, then I'll throw these on. Highly recommended, highly recommended. So these kickboards, I'm just siliconing the bottom. They come with these clips, but I was advised by a cabinet maker, shout out to Keith, the cabinet maker, I was advised that using the clips is just a pain. Throw the clips away, sneak a screw at the top where you can't see it, and I've siliconed the bottom, so that should be sweet. Now I can't do that at the top. The top, I'm going to put similar boards to finish this cabinet off, but a fixing has nowhere to hide up there. Obviously I could sneak a screw underneath and then put a sticker on it, and I might do that, but I've got another idea that involves that biscuit joiner again. Now I'm gonna put these little blocks in here, right? And they're made to be flush with the carcass of the cabinetry. It doesn't block the view, does it? That's flush. And this is where the biscuit jointer comes in. So if you were doing a laundry or kitchen or something with regular plywood that wasn't laminated like this, you could probably get away with a lot of this stuff because you could glue to the back of it. But because there's a laminate on it, we have to take these extra steps. But of course the plus side of the laminate is that it's pre-painted. So that's like a finished product there, right? By the way, lockdown Scott Brown continues. I'm still on my lonesome. Still in level 3 here in New Zealand. Here in Auckland rather. No end in sight. Got a haircut though. This is the handiwork of Jess. Home haircut. We bought clippers last year when we went in the first level 4. Did one haircut, and when we bought the clippers we were like, oh yeah, sweet, we're gonna save heaps of money. Jess is gonna do the haircuts all the time. But then as soon as we went to level 2, we're like, nah, let's get a barber to do the job. But who knows how long this lockdown's gonna go, so haircut number 2. What do you think? last thing I wanted to do was make the door hit my architrave here, because we needed this hatch for the staircase. And then your staircase comes down. Voila! So that's working out pretty well. Despite some of these things that I picked up, I'm not going to run away and put Cabinet Maker up on my website. I'm not going to start doing that for a business just yet. But if I did, I would use today's sponsor, which is Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform to build your online presence and run your business. All jokes aside, if I were to add this, it would be super easy with Squarespace. We've already got a page through them, and adding a page is very simple. They have drag and drop functions, so you don't really need to know any fancy code or anything. If you can drag and drop a picture, then you know how to put this website together. They have automatic image scaling, portfolios and galleries to make your work look good, and honestly it's just really easy to use. If you have a business, you need a website. It's as simple as that, and Squarespace make it easy for you to build your website. Along with being sponsored by these guys, I also recommend it because we use it. So if you're keen to try it out, Squarespace also offer a free trial, so you have nothing to lose. Then once you're ready to launch your website, go to squarespace.com/Scott Brown Carpentry to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So what do you think, guys? Job done. I'm back to building now, and I must say I'm very relieved to have my tool belt back on. This is great and everything, but yeah, I'm used to being a renovating builder. But having said that, I really did enjoy doing this, trying to be a cabinet maker for a while. It gave me more respect for cabinet makers than I already had. It's not easy. There's a lot of places you can be tripped up, and I found it particularly challenging with this laminate plywood, because you're working with a finished product. So every cut you do, every sand, every routering, all of those things, you have to protect the surface. You know, when you're working with regular timber, you know you're going to paint or varnish it, so you know it's a bit more forgiving. So that was a bit of a challenge. I've got push to open doors up there, and as the name suggests, you push the thing and the latch inside springs the door open. And I'm waiting for a few more of those latches for these doors and those doors down there as well. And I have added oil. I didn't film myself doing this, but I've added oil to the edges of the plywood to help seal them. And I used this one here, Osmo Polyox oil. And yeah, that's how I sealed the edges. And it was particularly crucial for here on the bench itself, or countertop, depending where you live. And my little push to open shelf as well. I've made it full width, so whether you're loading the washer or the dryer, you just slide the thing along and nice and easy. And the machines too, the dryer is it's quite interesting. The dryer is a heat pump dryer. And what that means is, instead of hot air venting out the top, it turns into liquid. All the moisture from your clothes goes into this tray that you then empty. But then you also have the option to plumb that directly, which is what the plumber has done. When the plumber came, he hooked both the washer and dryer, it's kind of weird, right? A dryer, plumbed into the waste that goes under the sink there. Hot and cold water. Mate, they've got a kitchen in their garage now. And my attic stair that I built, you can still get to it. So, like I said, I'm back to building now. I've just built some shelves in the cupboard there, and I've done some skirting and architraves and all the rest of it. And yeah, I've got more to do yet. So there we go, like I said, back to building. But not too bad for a builder with a track saw, right?
Sorry?
Oh, I changed my mind actually.
Okay. I guess you are going for that early 90s bowl cut then. honestly, so I just want to leave it like that.